All right, everybody. Today, what we are going to look at is creating this text portrait here in Photopea. Okay, so I know that everybody doesn't have access to Photoshop. In our, where are we here? If it will switch over, here we go. In our assignment here, guys, as you can see, these are all the instructions for Adobe Photoshop. But again, not everybody has access to this, so I'm going to show you how to do it on Photopea. Very similar ways here. Some of the items here are a little bit different, but you should be able to get through it. Again, I have went back and have created one. Okay, so it does definitely work. It's just a little bit of walking around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you exactly how to do this. Okay, so when you're taking your photo for this, the goal for this is to get a close-up, kind of fill the frame type of photo. Okay, so what you want is you want your face to take up the entire screen pretty much at this point. Okay, so you have your photo and you're going to crop it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put text up on the side, create a mask, and then do a clipping mask. Okay, so let's go through this together here. I'm not going to use one I took. I'm going to take one that I used, downloaded off the internet. So as you can see here, we have a picture of Chris Hemsworth, that is Thor, and we are going to bring him directly into Photopea. So from here, again, same old thing. We're going to just get the photo, and you are going to drag it into Photopea. So when we open it, okay, the first thing we are going to do, if we go back to our instructions here, okay, you're going to see open your studio portrait in Photopea and crop it. These instructions are a little bit different when you're doing it in Photopea than you would in Photoshop. Okay, so let me show you how to get to these options. Okay, so if we go back here, here is my portrait. We are going to go over to the crop tool. Okay, this is the same. When you click on that, you're going to notice up at the top here, it's going to give you some options. More than likely, it is going to be set to free. You guys want to go to fixed size. So what they're saying is, in the instructions, if we go back, you want 8.5 by 11. Okay, to do this here in Photopea, we are going to use some dimensions in pixels. Now, what I did here is, if you can tell, okay, I typed in 1100 and 850. So that ratio would be the same as 8.5 by 11. Okay, so if I use my crop tool now, and I go down here, it will make a box that is 8.5 by 11. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to center it up here. See those little guides that pop up? Okay, that there tells you that it's in the center of the image. Okay, we are just going to grab these nodes and kind of fill the frame. So if you take your photo and it's not perfect full the frame, okay, you can do this after in Photopea. Okay, so here we go. Crop in the tool. And when we are done, we are going to hit enter. Okay, so when we hit enter, you're going to see your crop there. It's nice and close, okay, and this will be perfect now to do our text. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions here so I can just show you step by step so you know exactly where we are. Okay, right here, we are going to create a new document. What we're going to do, if you are doing this in Photopea, skip this. Don't worry about it. It's too much for the internet sometimes to handle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to skip this portion and we're going to go on to step number 3. Okay, we're going to create a solid background color. Okay, so to do this, you're going to go down here to this little circle, kind of like a half circle, okay? And you're going to click on that and you're going to go to color fill. Okay, this is the same as creating a background layer. So here it comes up red automatically. Double click right here on the layer, go to your color fill layer, and we will select black. Hit OK. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get this layer, because we want it underneath the Thor layer. You're going to click and drag to the bottom. There we go. Okay, so we have this going here. There is our background layer. There is our photo. And now we are going to use the ruler guides to split the image in half. Okay, to do that, you're going to grab your guides. So here are the rulers. If they don't show up for you, they might not be on there as a default. Okay, let me show you where to get those. So we are going to go down to View. And this is the same in Photoshop, by the way. Go to View, and you are going to click Rulers. Okay, so that's how your view could potentially look when you open up Photopea. Go to View, click on rulers, and you will get your rulers. To drag a ruler over, guys, all you're going to do is go over to the ruler here, click and hold, and drag over your guide. Okay, so split the face roughly in half. If it's not perfect, that's okay, but you want that rough right in the middle, right in half. Okay, so there we go. We've created our ruler, our guide. It has split the face in half. Okay, and now we are on to step number 5. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the marquee tool. Now, you guys have never used this before. If you haven't touched Photoshop, you might not know what this is. The marquee tool pretty much will make a square, and whatever's in that square, it will select. Okay, so in this case, we're going to select the right side of his face. Okay, so we're going to go back, click on the marquee tool, which is right here. Here it's called rectangular select. And we are just going to go click and hold, drag down the side of your ruler line, which is in the middle, and go to the right. Okay, so there we go. So now it is selected. So if we go back to our instructions, okay, we are going to now copy this portion and paste it in a new layer. Okay, so let's go back and do that. So we're in Photopea. We are on our background layer. Make sure that this is selected. Hit Control-C on your keyboard, and then hit Control-V. So Control-C will copy it. Control-V will paste it. If you get a dialog box saying that Photopea wants to copy something to your clipboard, just say OK. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our background layer. Okay, this is the actual photo. We have our color fill layer, which is underneath that. And then we have our newly selected and cut layer, which you have half the face ready to go. Okay, so let's take a look at step number 6. We are going to hide the clipping mask side of the face layer. Okay, and then we are going to create a mask so that this portion is hidden and it only reveals this side of the face. Okay, so to do this, what we're going to do is we are going to select the opposite side we just did. So again, with the rectangular marquee tool, and I'm just going to go in, boom, select. Okay, so there we go. So that's selected. And now we are going to create a layer mask. So right here, it looks like a square with a circle in it. That is a mask tool. This is how the masks work. When you are working with a black mask, it is going to hide all of those areas that are covered with the black. When it is white, it is going to reveal those areas. Okay, so when we click this, by default, if we selected an area, it's going to fill that area with black. Okay, so we're going to go to our background layer. Make sure you're clicked on your background layer. Always make sure that you've selected the layer you want the effect to be applied to. Click on it. Okay, and then it will make a black on the right side and white on the other. So it's going to reveal this portion and it's going to hide this portion. Now, we can't really see that it did anything at this point, okay? The reason being is this newly selected layer that we made last time, or newly created layer that we made last time, is on top, which means that it is covering this mask portion. So if we would hide the visibility, and you do this by clicking on this little eye in the corner here, you will see now that this mask is now hiding this portion of the face. Okay, hopefully you guys are still sticking with me here. Feel free to rewind the video if you guys need to, but let's move on to step number 7. Okay, so we're going to create our text. When creating the text, especially something for this, where you want your photo to come through and be able to see, you want to make sure you're using a thicker type of text. Okay, so let's take a look at the options we have here in Photopea. So again, to create your text, you're going to go down to the type tool here on the left-hand side. Okay, you're going to click on it, and then you are going to find some text. So if you do a drop down here, you're going to be able to see a whole bunch of different texts. This one here I found works really well. It's called Day Poster Black. You can use any one you want, but this is one that I found, and feel free to use this if you don't want to go searching through all of these texts. Okay, so again, I'm selecting my text tool. I'm going to make it white. This doesn't matter because we are going to be filling it with the photo itself. Okay, but white will show up on black a lot easier and a lot easier to see. So we are going to do that. I'm going to click OK, and then I am going to click in this area here to start my text. Now, if you take a look up here at the size, okay, The size could potentially be defaulted something really small, say 5 to 8 pixels. Okay? Drag that up all the way to the top so that you can actually see what you're typing, especially if you're using a larger photo. You will not be able to see your text because it will be this small. Okay, so let's do this. We made it larger. I've clicked on my text tool, and now I am ready to type. Okay, so let's use the same phrase here. Is that the best you can do? Okay, so I'm going to type in all caps I'm going to hit enter, that, enter, the best you can do, and question mark. Okay, notice the text. What is happening? It is either getting really crushed, in my case, or it's going to be very expanded. Because as you hit enter, it's going to bring a carriage return down. So we're going to space out this text. To do that, what we're going to do is we're going to click off this layer to set that text in, and then you're going to click back on the layer, and you're going to go to this little character box here on this side. Okay, click on the character box, and you're going to look right here. Okay, this leading, this here adjusts the space in between your text. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is we can just make this text a little smaller. There we go. Okay, just so that, and you can adjust the size as well, just so that you can see it and that it is closer together. Now, the closer the text together, okay, that's still legible, of course, the closer the text together, the more photo you're going to be able to see. Because as you see those black portions here, if you have lines between those texts, what's going to happen is you're going to lose out on some of that photo. Okay, so try to get it looking something similar to that. All right, let's go down here to close this, guys. What you're going to do is just hit the character button again, and that will close that so you can see more of what we're doing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this layer, use my move tool, and put it right up to that line there so that it is at his face. Now, what we can do too here is if we grab the little nodes in the corner, okay, if we select our transform controls while in the move tool, we can drag this out. Okay, and we can maybe size it a little bit better, just how you would like it. Perfect. Okay, so there we go. We have our text. We've created the photo, brought it in, cropped it. We have made a mask to hide this one side of the layer. We have made a copy so that we can use this now as our clipping mask, and we've created our text. Look at the order of the layers here. This is the order you guys need it. The reason being is because when we make a clipping mask on here, you want the clipping mask to take the shape of whatever is below. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, actually, I was wrong. See, even I make mistakes sometimes. So we're going to grab this layer and we are going to drag it below this layer here. Okay, so there we go. So now this layer here, this here will take the form of the text. Okay, and that's what we want. Okay, so let's go down here, guys. And we are, again, this is the portion that we just went through. Okay, this is the portion where you can space out your text. Okay, and here we are, step 8 to make our clipping mask. Here is the photo, and we are going to clip it to take the shape of the text. Okay, so we're going to pop back into the next one here. We're going to right click and go to clipping mask. When I do that and turn on the visibility, you will see that that text layer now is being filled with the photo. Okay, so those are the steps. This is how you do it in Photopea. We are going to save this document as 2 different ones, okay? One to hand in and one just in case you finish half the steps and you want to go back and edit it. So again, to go back and edit, we're going to save this as a PSD file. Okay, so there we go. It has downloaded in our download folder. So again, if I want to find this file, guys, I can right click and go show in folder. Okay, but I'm completed, I'm finished, I'm ready to hand this in. I'm going to save it as a JPEG, export, JPEG. Again, our quality will be a 70%, just like our first tutorial we did. I'm going to hit save. When I do that, there is my file that I'm going to hand in. I'm going to right click, I can go show in folder, and what I can do here, okay, if I want to rename this, click on it, hit F2, and then I can put TP for text portrait underscore, I'm going to put my name and hit enter. And then there is the file that I'm going to hand it to Google Classroom. Okay, hopefully that cleared some stuff up for you guys. I know that the instructions are in Photoshop, so I just want to do this quick tutorial so you guys could try to understand it in Photopea. Again, options are a little bit different, called different things, but they all do the same thing. Okay, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a comment there on Google Classroom there, and I'll gladly help you out. And that's about it. All right, have a good day.